How many hot dogs do you eat in a day, Tim?
I'd rather not answer that. Thank you, though.
Did you eat hot dogs today?
Not exactly. Why are you bringing this up?
Well, you have mustard on your shirt, and frankly, your burps reek of hot dogs.
I had a hot dog bowl earlier today. Yes, I did.
And what is a hot dog bowl?
It's like a burrito bowl, but it's chopped up hot dogs in a big old bread bowl.
So like a much larger, less healthy hot dog?
Can I go? I'm starving.
TBTL.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is?
It's Friday. Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
I have no idea why I have Fred Schneider's solo album.
Why did I buy this funky little purchase?
Is that your Fred Schneider?
Yeah,
Why did I buy this funky little purchase?
we have our own friends.
We're the #1 show in hospitals and on sinking riverboat casinos.
Just to make sure I've gotten all the information correct, I'm going to need you to
Hello?
confirm a few more things.
I need some help, please.
Your name is Eric Targus. Is this correct? Okay, I'll go ahead and make that change. Great. I've made the change. Your wife's new legal name is Targus.
Let's get to the jokes.
All right, hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Friday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
I can't believe you're still on the air.
My name's Luke Burbank. I'm your host.
Oh la la.
Coming to you from the Madrona Hill studio, perched high above the mighty Columbia, where it's going to be a beautiful, sunny, warm
Oh, Ma, Pa, it's just beautiful.
Friday out here as we arrive at episode 4,698 in a collector series.
Let the fun begin.
Australia has enshrined a particular piece of audio tape
Australia is a wonderful island.
and said that it's one of the more culturally significant recordings that's happened in Australia in maybe the last 20 or 30 years.
Australians are just as unique, both warm and direct.
And we will tell you what that audio is. Also, we have an update with the TBTL Junior Sluggers, who kick off their season tomorrow.
Kids and fantasy.
They have landed on a team name, and it is a humdinger. Can't wait to tell you about that, and can't wait to talk to this guy, longest-running Cobra of the show, maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships.
Oh, he's hilarious, dog. Who is
Andrew Walsh, and he's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
You gotta say Rick Moranis there, though. It's just, it's like shaving a haircut 2 bits. Remember how it drove that rabbit crazy in Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Are you considering naming your new dog Rick Moranis?
Who is Rick Moranis? Oh,
and you have to say that.
He is hilarious dog. We did go visit some dogs yesterday, Luke, as you well know. I mentioned that to you earlier in the week. That was a dog that we went to meet. So here, let me tell you what the situation was.
Please.
A little background, little BG on me here.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, Genevieve and I have been talking seriously about getting a dog for, I'm going to say 8 to 10 months now.
Years.
Well, unseriously for 10 years, but seriously for the better part of a year at this point. But the plan in our head, once we got serious and started saying this is actually something that we're going to pursue, was the idea to adopt an older dog, like a couple of years old, between 2 and 4 years old or something. Because we wanted a dog that had a good relationship and a proven track record with cats. Because, of course, we have a cat that we have here in the home that we love to death and don't want to do anything to disrupt him. So that's been our plan. And as I told you on the show earlier this week, we sat down for the first time with somebody who helps run a rescue organization for dogs. And she was showing us dogs in about that range. But the more we talked, it sort of sounded like, well, conventional wisdom is if you want your dog to get along with your cat, you probably want to bring a puppy in and raise them more together, which was an idea that was sort of in the back of my head. But I really thought, my assumption for all of this is that, like, if you're rescuing a dog, the dogs who are a little bit older, like in the range I was talking about, need more attention anyway. I just figured puppies fly off the shelves because they're puppies and they're cute and everything, and everybody wants a puppy. And so I thought it'd be much easier for us to find an older dog. So this person that we were meeting with the other week showed us a dog named Lola, who's about 2.5 years old.
Was that the one you
26
sent me a
pounds.
photo of? Was that Lola or was that Ophelia?
No, I didn't have any photos of Lola, but we saw a quick little video. The woman was sharing her screen with us, and so I saw a quick little video of Lola. And I'll be honest with you, when I saw Lola kind of running around, I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. She didn't strike me as like an especially like a dog that I saw a quick video of and just fell in love with right away. I was like, okay. But the person who was showing us Lola said, listen, Lola is a sweet dog, super, super sweet, but also has showed a little bit of a prey instinct. Not dangerous in any way.
Chasing
normal
a bird or something,
Chasing birds and squirrels and stuff and loving to do that. And not in any way that is problematic for, I think, even the birds and the squirrels. I think that, like, she's just a dog playing in the backyard of her foster home right now. But not something that you'd want if you're going to be bringing her into a home with a cat. You just don't want any of that behavior at all. So we're like, that's fine. But the person said Lola has a litter of 8 puppies, and those were some of the photos I was showing you. There was a dog named Opalite who was just like, just one of the most beautiful little puppies you could possibly imagine. But I think she was already maybe flagged to go home for another test run.
She had to
with
go back to
another
her
family.
planet.
Yeah, she was too perfect. She had to go. But then she had some sisters, and as listeners pointed out, as I mentioned these names, all 8 of these puppies were named after Taylor Swift songs. Opalite and Ophelia. Did I ever tell you that?
Ophelia. No, you didn't, but
my phone was blowing up the rest of that day. They're like, this is not a Greek thing. These are all, every name you name, there's
Is one of the songs called My Boyfriend Has a Large Hog?
Somebody texted me that. It said, is that the name of one of the dogs? And I said no. But like there was a dog in that litter named Betty. I'm like, well, that doesn't fit. And then when I met the person who's fostering all 9 of these dogs, counting Lola last night, she's like, oh yeah. She said Lola came because I was thinking of the song Lola. She was a showgirl. That's the mom. And she said, and then once I thought showgirl, then I came up with 8 other names based on Taylor Swift songs. I was shocked, Luke. I was shocked when I walked into this house. We went up to Edmonds, and again, this is a woman and her husband who are fostering these 9 dogs right now, Lola and her pups, and I could not believe how young these people were. At first I really thought that like the teenage kid was answering the door for the family, or like the 20-something kid or whatever. Yeah. But like I was really shocked to see, and they have a beautiful, beautiful home in a beautiful part of Edmonds, and this sounds so condescending, and I didn't know this was not the Arby's district of Edmonds. And
it's more the Rick Steves area, probably.
I couldn't believe how old I felt. I don't think I've ever had that experience. I was like, wait, I kept on thinking, and again, I didn't make any jokes, or I think that's really cringe to do that and just gross. But like the back of my head, I just kept
Minecraft
thinking,
to them.
I thought about doing that. But I was just like, how can these kids own this house? I don't. Kept waiting for the parents to come down. But anyway, incredibly sweet, incredibly responsible people who are fostering these dogs right now and trying desperately to get them into good homes. It turns out Lola and her 8 puppies were abandoned by the side of the road, Luke.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's how
you
these
could
dogs...
have actually found them on your whole idea initially to get a cat was drive around the country and look for a box of them. You might have actually gotten some dogs that way.
Yeah, but it's so sad because here's where I'm going with all of this. So we go in. I know that Lola, the mom, we're going to meet her, but I know that we're not going to adopt her even on a trial basis. But it's good to know her so you can sort of get to see like about the size and shape of maybe what these puppies will grow into. And there were 8 puppies, like I mentioned. I think almost like all but I think all but 3 were kind of spoken for as far as other families showing interest or whatever. And as you said, one of them was named Ophelia. One of them was, I think Betty was on the table, if you will. And then there was a Clara on the table. Those were the 3 dogs. And there were like 2 pairs or 3 pairs that looked exactly alike. And so it's so hard for me to keep track of who is who. And we go in, and it is just like it's a very nice house, very clean house, and the dogs are all like kind of gated in on the kitchen floor. And so we come in and we just sit crisscross applesauce on the floor and spend time. I mean, it is like it is like your dream of a puppy party. It's just like these just fluffy little. In fact, I can send you while we talk. I'm not going to post this because there are people talking in the background about like diarrhea and other dog issues. But I will send you while we talk via text here, Luke, a video of these dogs because they fed them dinner while we were there, and they all just like it was just a swarm of cuteness.
And how is Genevieve handling all of this?
Well,
at the
Genevieve is loving it. One of the dogs, so Ophelia and Clara were two dogs who looked very much alike and had this great tan coloring, and they and Clara like jumped on Genevieve's lap immediately and started like kind of like loving on her and playing with her and everything. And then I was a little bit overwhelmed. There were tons of dogs, and some of them were coming up to me. There was one who was a little bit of a toe biter. He kept on trying to bite my
sock off. One of them brutally frame-mogged you.
Yes, they all did, man. These dogs are just, I'm telling you. By the way, is there a difference between frame-mogging and mogging? I noticed that you've totally said, you've stopped saying mogging, you only say frame-mogging. I'm not sure if there's a difference or you're using them interchangeably.
I'm kind of using them interchangeably. I think brutally frame-mogged is the funniest way to say it, but I think frame-mogging is if you look stronger. I think your frame, your physical
frame. Interesting.
So mogging is just like you have better jawline, whatever. By the way, we don't have to play it today, but maybe next week. We do have a guy weighing in on TikTok on the MLB All-Mog team.
Oh, okay.
He's ranked every player at every position for who has the best ratio, who is in the eyes of like a clavicular type, who looks the best.
We don't have to get. I was going to say we don't have to get into it, but is there good Mariner representation like there was for the World Baseball Classic?
Well, we only have one player on the All-Mog first team. We have a player, I think, on the second All-Mog team as well, but we do have someone on the first team.
That's interesting.
But anyway, I just like to say brutally frame-mogged because it makes me laugh.
Okay,
I don't know if I'm even using it
sure
correctly.
If I was missing something. Who was, I think, not Kelnick, who was our guy who was our super utility guy for the past 3 years, but he always drove everybody kind of crazy. He was pretty good at
Dylan Moore?
Dylan Moore. Is he on the list?
He could have been.
He could have been, right?
Great jawline.
Yeah,
Absolutely
he's got an incredible jawline. I think.
By the way, I have not received this video.
Really, it might be because it's a little bit big. Give it a second. Okay. I think I said it's also kind of talking and texting at the same time. I'm trying not to get too distracted by that. I can make sure that you have eyes on these puppies. But point is, the more we're talking with this family and talking with these dogs, it's kind of like, it sounds like a puppy is probably the way to go for us, which was, again, it's kind of a curveball late in the process for me. But also, that's good news not because I'm necessarily as puppy obsessed, but because I want as much, if we're bringing a new member of the family, and I want as much time with that member of the family as possible, right? And so that's definitely a bonus for me. But I will say, and I guess spoiler alert, not spoiler alert, I guess I'm jumping to the end of the story, but I want to back up to something. But we have decided that we're going to bring one of these puppies home for a trial fostering, which we're going to do next week. In fact, you and I need to, I just realized I was supposed to talk to you about our schedule next week to make that happen. I assume that you will move heaven and earth to make it happen for me. But we are going to adopt one of these puppies at least for 2 weeks.
I would die for Shake It Off.
It's funny because I was watching a lot of videos last night about dog behavior because I suddenly need to go from 0 to 100 on understanding dogs. And I guess when dogs do that shaking thing, that's like an emotional reset for them. Did you know that, Luke?
Didn't
that's
know
something
that.
I learned. When a dog, not when they're like shaking water off
when they're
or something.
shaking. Okay, that's what I thought.
But like something like if you see your dog kind of maybe interacting with another dog at the dog park or something, and it was maybe a little bit not negative, but maybe a little bit questionable or a little bit tense for them, and then you see one of the dogs kind of go into their own corner and just like shake. That's them sort of saying, "I'm just going to reset here." It's like our version of taking like deep breaths. That's kind of like
I assumed it meant that the dog was a little, literally a little shaken up. Like I assumed that was not a sign of like pure joy for the dog.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a reset, but I assumed it was a dog that maybe needed a hug.
Yeah, and that's them maybe hugging themselves. Like, I don't think it means that they're super upset, but it's just them kind of saying, "Okay, I'm going to reset here." And
are we going to get you a thunder shirt?
I need a thunder shirt. I need a thunder shirt.
For the dog will be fine. We'll have you all thunder shirted up.
So I will tell you a little bit more about the puppy that we'll be bringing home next week. But I also want to tell you, if I bonded with any of those dogs, it was Lola. I can't. And it's like, I'm not saying this for any reason other than just to like tell you about my experience. Because she's just not going to work for us. But by the way, in the house with all these puppies, she was nothing but a very sweet dog. She was super sweet. I didn't see any. She wasn't like running around or anything. But what she would do is, and she's a dog who's about 26 pounds. We don't know any of the breeds involved here, but they're dogs who are a little bit lower to the ground, not super stocky or anything. Genevieve doesn't want a dog with super short legs, but varying degrees of, like, there might be some dachshund in the mix somewhere because they're a little bit longer. But again, 26 pounds isn't like, it's kind of a decent sized little medium to small dog. But we're sitting crisscross applesauce on the ground, and Genevieve's being frame mobbed by the
brutally
puppies.
frame mobbed
by the puppies, and they're all over. And again, it's like a sea of cuteness that like your head can't even. It's just really hard to even take it all in. But then,
God, Andrew, the video came through.
But then Lola comes over to me and just sits down right in front of me while all the puppies are getting all the attention from all the adults in the room and probably have been for the past 9 weeks.
Is Lola in the pink?
Lola I think she finally just got spayed, and so they have
so
her.
She's wearing like a little kind of like shirt thing. Okay,
she's wearing a shirt that's sort of like kind of keeping her all protected, and she just keeps coming up to me, and nobody else. She just keeps coming up to me, and I'm sitting on the floor, and she just keeps sitting right on the floor, right in front of me, eye to eye, and just almost nose to nose with her long nose. She's just putting her nose and just looks me right in the eye, and then I just keep scratching her head, and then I'll go to try to play with a puppy or whatever, and then she just comes right back to me. I'm putting my nose on the microphone, and we were there. It was hard to leave, as you can imagine. We were probably there at least a half hour.
She was
it was more like 40 minutes.
She was like, get me out of here.
These
puppies are absolutely killing me.
And Luke, I am very, very excited to tell you more about the puppy that we are bringing home, but I will be honest with you, I can't get Lola out of my head. I kept asking.
What about a twofer?
We can't bring Lola in because we can't trust her with cats. Again, not that there's any record of misbehavior, but she just has too much of a prey instinct. But she just, in all of the chaos of the puppies, she was just this still dog that just kept coming up to me, and knowing that like none of the other dogs said to me, "I am your dog," like Lola did. And again, it doesn't work for our situation. But I kept asking. I kept saying like, well. Because I think in the next about 7 days, one by one, these puppies are going to be leaving. I'm like, is she going to be sad? Like, do we know where Lola's going yet? And I guess there was like one family that maybe is seriously thinking about Lola, and they have like I think maybe a 2-year-old baby at home, and Lola is so calm and just like it would be probably a good match for them. You don't have to worry about prey instinct. Again, when I say
prey
that,
instinct for children.
I'm not saying, again, when I say prey instinct, I don't mean like she's in any way a troubled dog or doesn't know boundaries. She's just, if she's chasing squirrels, she's probably going to chase a cat. It's just as simple as that. It's just, but so I'm really, really hoping, like I keep on thinking, like I want to know, like, is Lola going to find a home this week? Like, is she going to match with this family with the 2-year-old? Can we be in touch? And Genevieve did say that because we're likely, and I feel like I'm skipping over the important part of this, which is we're bringing a puppy home, which if all goes well over the course of 2 weeks will be our puppy. And I'm not going to tell you the puppy's name that we're bringing home, but I will tell you that it's one of the 3 that I listed that are available, because we will be changing the puppy's name. And I don't want to keep emphasizing the dead name of the puppy that we are adopting, but let's just say...
Are you going to name it Cruel Summer?
That's right.
Are you going to name it
We Do Know...
I Knew You Were Trouble?
I'm going to name it The Rap Verse That Ruined That One Decent Song.
This sick beat.
I don't want to be. I mean, I know that people love.
Okay, but
Taylor
just
Swift,
one time, so I can
cruel,
picture this dog. Give me the dog's dead name. Give me the dog's Taylor
Let's just
Swift
say
name
it is Ophelia. Ironically,
it's Ophelia.
It is the one that we were going to see. The thing was, it was Clara that was crawling all over Genevieve, but Clara and Ophelia look and act almost identical. And I guess there was one family that's coming today, like literally maybe around this time, but they were specifically coming to look at Clara. And so we were just like, they're very similar. And Also, Clara has a like a hernia thing that needs to be kind of taken care of, which will be taken care of. But given that we're bringing a dog in the house, and like I have a lot of I feel like I have a lot of learning and all this stuff to be concerned about over the course of the next several weeks, maybe having an impending kind of surgery and making sure that the dog doesn't jump too much or whatever because of this thing is just another layer of complication. And the fact that another family already was sort of coming to look at Clara, we're just like, well, let's just say that we'll bring Ophelia home, and we do know what we're going to name our doggo. But Genevieve, in a surprise twist, is withholding. Genevieve texted the Wordle gang last night. I was downstairs watching dog videos. Genevieve was upstairs watching some sort of brain rot on TV. I'm the only one who cares in this house.
Let me give you the update on the dog. Give it some food, give it some water, teach it how to poop outside.
Well, teaching how to poop outside is important. Also, I do think integrating with a cat is going to be. I think you want to do that.
But I mean, there's only so much you can know about the psychology of this dog. I would say don't stress yourself out too much.
I think, no offense, Luke, I think I will take my advice on dog raising from other corners. None
of them died.
I want to do it. I only have one chance to do this, and so I just want to make sure that I do it right. And again, I'm coming with no experience in this at all, and so I'm not gonna. I want to make sure that that I feel confident enough. I feel like if I come into this with too much uncertainty and insecurity, then I worry about that sort of affecting the process. And so I want to know as much as I can. I'm just
whatever
watching.
You need to do.
I'm watching a few YouTube videos. I'm not going overboard here, but
okay.
So
Genevieve is brain rotting.
I'm watching these videos, and she texted the friend group, and she's kind of like, "Hey, we are bringing a dog home, next week, and the name is TBA." And I read that for a second. I was like, "Wait, TBD? We already know," because Genevieve and I have had conversations. We landed on a name that we really like, and then I was like, "Oh wait, TBA and TBD mean different things. TBD means to be determined, and we have determined it. Genevieve is TBAing our friends.
Are you having a gender reveal party?
And she is forcing me to TBA you and the listeners, which I am shocked about.
Are you shooting a balloon that when it explodes, it will reveal the dog's name?
It's going to be a bunch of dog glitter, exactly.
Are we all coming over for this?
I'm very excited for our dog's name, but Genevieve won't let me tell. I'm sorry. By the way, I would not be withholding this. I am not the withholder. Genevieve just said, listen, and then I said, I don't want to use the dog's old name a lot because I don't want people to get used to that. And she said, listen, I'm stretching the story out. I'm giving you content. I'm like, all right, sweetie, that's fine. So,
hey, by the way,
TBA on the dog's name, by the way.
Well, I'm excited to hear it. And by the way, speaking of Genevieve and content, I don't know if you've been monitoring the text chain between the three of us, but maybe after we thank some donors, we could get Genevieve on the line because she has now had her court case.
That was today. I knew it was this week, and I guess today's Friday.
Happened, and she's offering to come on the show and update us on how it went.
Oh, she should have been here for the dog conversation too. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do this.
So maybe we do some dazzling donors, and then we get the update on that. And also, we've got an update on the TBTL Junior Sluggers, which is they're not being withholding with the name.
No,
Coach Ben is being
not.
He's being very front facing and public about it. So we'll do all of that after we thank some donors.
We was hoping for some razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle.
That's right, man. Razzle dazzle.
On your mark.
On your mark.
Get set.
Get set.
Now ready.
Ready. Go.
Everybody razzle dazzle.
All right, let's thank some dazzling donors. These folks are donating a dazzling amount of dough to TBTL voluntarily, and that is how we pay for this whole thing. That's how this is Andrew's job and my job and John Sklaroff's job. 100% listener-supported podcasting. Thanks to Laura Gosling in... All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be careful. Podgorica, Montenegro.
Hey, Luke, read the first. There's a pronouncer. I should have moved this up, but there's a pronouncer in the first line of Laura's message.
Podgorica.
It looks like it.
Podgorica, Montenegro is where Laura Gosling is, like Baby Goose or Ryan Gosling.
We should have, instead of adopting a puppy, we should have adopted a Ryan Gosling.
That's right. Laura says, hello, Biz Boys. Greetings from Podgorica, Koritsa. How am I getting worse at saying it?
It's not easy.
Montenegro in the heart of the Balkans.
Wow.
I've been on this whole... Andrew, are you up on the Balkan breakfast situation? Have you seen this thing?
Is it like
bopping around
a
the internet?
continental breakfast?
No, it's just a guy who's got like a small loaf of bread, like freshly baked bread, kind of a roll thing, a couple of tomatoes, a raw onion, some salt, and he's just... and like a pepper, and he's just tearing the bread apart, tearing the tomato apart, eating the tomato, salting the tomato, eating it, eating a bite of bread, putting the pepper on the tomato on the bread, eating it. He's just kind of eating this weird thing, and it's called a Balkan breakfast, and it actually looks really kind of good.
I gotta say, it actually there's some part of it's probably the Eastern European in me that sort of sounds appealing.
Your chacha's up there somewhere smiling.
Right.
This has been a very difficult year for all of the reasons, and as always, having TBTL on a steady 5-day-a-week schedule has been a huge comfort. It gets me away from doom scrolling too much. I know you don't take credit for it, but you have provided the scaffolding for a great community in the Slack, for which I am grateful. For book recommendations to sharing game scores, I look forward to checking in daily. I'm also so proud that the community has enabled you to take the show independent and keep it that way. I look forward to another year of garbage anxiety, travel talk, and cat adventures. Well, Laura, add dog adventures to the list.
Buckle up for at least 2 weeks. Although
that's right.
Yeah.
Laura, thank you so much. And you're right. I think we don't feel comfortable taking credit for it. But yes, through some happenstance, this thing TBTL has become the scaffolding for a bunch of really awesome people like yourself to get to be friends and support each other and also make this show happen. So thank you very much. And have fun out there in Podgorica, Montenegro. Now that I know how to say it, I'm going to come visit.
I am hoping upon hope that our next dazzling donor is also from Podgorica. What are the chances?
I mean, honestly, it took me so long to learn it. I want to get my money's worth.
No matter
Thank you, Laura.
where they're from.
Maestro?
On your mark.
On your mark.
Get set.
Get set.
Now ready.
Ready. Go.
Everybody rattle, dazzle.
It's Craig Barringer in...
Hey, Craig.
Edwards, Washington? Edwards, Washington?
Is that a typo? Is this AI?
I mean, I have not heard of an Edwards. I've heard of an Edmonds, Washington. In fact, on this very episode, Andrew.
Yes.
I hear it's where your future dog is currently residing.
Exactly.
Edwards, Washington. Are you Googling that?
I am, and I okay, the only thing that's coming up, and I'm not joking, is a link from MapQuest. And so that raises some red flags for me right here. And
is it on a TomTom?
But on MapQuest, not Google Maps, I'd like to be very clear. On MapQuest, it is showing it as a place, Edwards, Washington, which is, it looks like above Kennewick.
Well, Andrew, unfortunately, I just read into Craig's message, and he doesn't live in Edwards, Washington. I believe he does live in Edmonds, Washington.
Oh, okay.
Although, bad news, Craig, you now have to move to Edwards, Washington, because it's for the plot.
But wait a second. Can we, even though it was just a typo, can we explore the fact that there's a apparently tiny town that only exists on MapQuest, but no other mapping service on the internet? Why would that be?
That is really strange. Also, I think I'm going to start saying culturally Edwards.
I think you should.
It's my new favorite thing to say. Craig says, aloha, friendos, and thanks for another year of commuting companionship. It's been quite a trip since the radio days of TBTL as well as the erstwhile Andrew Walsh Show. Andrew.
There it is.
You've got a listener.
That's how you reel him into TBTL. You expose him to the Andrew Walsh Show.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We haven't crossed paths since the before times when I worked at Chateau Saint Michel and was there for a rained inside family picnic. Do you remember this, Andrew?
I do very well, yes.
We had to move inside because it was, I don't know if it was raining or threatening to rain, but we moved the whole operation inside and had a fun night after all. COVID would end that gig, but I landed at Andrew's favorite grocery store, Trader Joe's.
Oh, little irony there. Well, I don't usually deal with Trader Joe's, but did you see that there's a Trader Joe's that's coming right into my neighborhood, Luke? Might that be the catalyst that changes me? The Northgate.
I hope it does. I
the
love
Northgate
Trader
area.
Joe's.
Yeah, everybody does.
I'm surprised that you. Is it just that you're just you're committed to your SARS, but also you weren't a SARS man until you became a SARS man.
No, and also I was always somebody who only went to one grocery store, and now I have like 3 main grocery stores that I ping pong between depending on my needs and my mood, and I guess maybe the arrangement of the stars in the sky.
You need to open up one more chamber of your heart for some pirate's booty.
That's what I'm thinking. Like maybe I am a different person than I used to be, and I continue to evolve, Luke, and so maybe there will be that one thing that I can only get at Trader Joe's that will start bringing me in the door.
It might be where they sell Ophelia's favorite dog food.
I don't know who Ophelia is. Are you talking about TBA?
Hold on. Somebody shoot a balloon so I can find out the name of this dog. Anyway, Craig says, I've worked at Trader Joe's. My drive home to Edmonds from Queen Anne Hill takes me through Seattle's historic Burbank District and right past Daniel Bagley Elementary. It would also be a trek through the Walsh neighborhood if I continued north on 99 instead of veering off to I-5. I'm sure Tens all over the world are enthralled with this hyper-specific North Seattle geography talk. Well, I am, Craig.
I am too, exactly. I was in your hood yesterday.
Anywho, we've all been through a lot together since the start of this thing Luke and Jen created that I can't explain to other people. Craig, what I would like is if you're doing the Trader Joe's thing, when you don't know about this, Andrew, because you're not a Trader Joe's man, but oftentimes when you're you're paying for your stuff, the Trader Joe's folks who are very friendly and awesome, I love them, will say, "Got big plans?"
Oh.
And you say to them, "Got big plans?" And they'll say whatever. And then if they ask you if you have big plans, you say yes, to listen to TBTL on the way home.
Big weekend.
That's
Does
exactly
that start
right.
Playing? Sorry, you said that and I just freaked out. I figured I had to. You say those words, I'm totally Pavlovian now after watching all my dog videos. Well, by the way, I've been watching videos about how I can be a better dog. Is that a...
Yes.
I got the algorithm slightly off.
Are you on Brian Gnome's personal YouTube channel getting some information about dog life?
You had to... It was off air yesterday that you filled me in on that, wasn't it?
What a story. What a story. Craig says, here's to another year of community levity and phone throwing. You owe me at least 2, by the way. That's fair. Go Mariners, go Seahawks, and go eat a bagel. Craig, I don't know if you've heard, it's not the water.
Maybe it was.
But Craig, thank you so much for supporting the show. We couldn't do this without you.
Hello and welcome to Top Story.
All right, our top story is that we've got some TBTL breaking legal news. As careful listeners know, Genevieve and I have both been locked in pitched battle with our various municipalities over tickets. I had a parking ticket that was issued in error. I had paid for the meter, and yet they gave me the ticket anyway. You guys, it's a little more, I would call it on the line, as far as the legality of what you were doing. You were driving to chase down Genevieve's cell phone on a Metro bus and drove in the bus-only lane, and then there was a photo, I believe, of the car taken, and then you got one of those auto-generated tickets. And Genevieve, you now have seen the magistrate. That was this morning. What can you tell us?
Yes. So as I said on this show, I had the opportunity to mitigate the ticket. It's not a moving violation, so it doesn't matter that I technically wasn't driving. It just whoever owns.
Because I was behind the wheel.
Andrew was behind the wheel. Andrew had jumped in the car.
It'd be like if you got a parking ticket kind of thing.
Basically, they treat it like a parking ticket. And it was $75, which isn't life-changing money, but I would prefer to pay none or less of that, obviously.
As you said on the show, cheaper than a new phone, which we would be buying
certainly
if we hadn't
cheaper than a
chased
new
down
phone.
That bus.
So I was, I requested this mitigation. They sent me a letter saying, and I thought when I requested the mitigation, because I'm so old and old-fashioned, I thought I would put on my suit and go into the courthouse and sit, be in the court. No, that's what year do I think it is?
Have you ever done that?
Well, when I was a teenager and I plowed my car into a little neighborhood road, sort of a little brick sign that stands outside of somebody's neighborhood. I had to go into the court and explain that I was paying for the sign repair and, I was, there was.
Didn't you actually have to? I thought you had to go fix that sign, right?
I did go for one day and make a sort of token gesture of putting bricks in a wheelbarrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then did you dress up for court that day?
I dressed up for court. My parents were with me.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't there was no, I don't think I was ever I don't think jail was on the line or anything. But but it was
You were probably 16 or 17.
I was 16 or 17. I must have been 17 because I didn't get my license till I was 16, and probably for the best that I didn't. But yeah, so I that was real court, and I had to go to court. So this was more like get on a Zoom call. And even that, I was like, I put on more makeup than I normally would for a work from home day. And from the waist up, I look very presentable.
You guys can't see Genevieve right now, but it looks like she just took lipstick and just kept smearing it around.
I look like
and
Tammy
around
Faye
and
Baker,
around.
basically.
Kind of Dina Martini.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. So no, I look very presentable. I look like a real housefrau, And I got so I was very prepared, and I was like thinking through like, how am I gonna spell this out, and like, will I be asked questions? And even knowing that like the way the world works now, I over prepared for this, and in my head it was like going to be a bigger deal. No, let me tell you what happened.
Did you declare yourself a sovereign citizen at the beginning?
And the magistrate said, "Ma'am, this is a Wendy's."
You said, I am traveling. I am a traveler. I am not engaging in commerce. You have no jurisdiction.
No, of course, prepare to be underwhelmed. So at about 10, my hearing date.
Vives, can I just quickly can I reset this a little bit in case somebody missed this, or just even for my own sake? The part of what was so fascinating about this to me was that you guys were on basically a sort of a caper.
Yeah.
And I think what we were talking about was like, if the magistrate, if whoever is adjudicating this if their heart is warmed towards the idea of the caper, then maybe they would. We were hoping that would be a way for them to kind of cut you a break because of basically how charming the story is.
That's exactly right.
And don't forget, there was also a charming photo that Genevieve took of the bus driver waving at us from his bus window as we were in the car next to him, and we were literally in the illegal lane when we took that photo, and he was giving us essentially what the law refers to as a nonverbal thumbs up, a nonverbal attaboy, and so that was going to be Exhibit A.
We thought he had the legal authority to give us carte blanche to be in the bus
I had proposed that you blow that photo up and put it on an easel.
Exactly.
For
on foam core board. Exactly. And tap it.
And somehow like move my Zoom camera such that it could be shown.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Okay, so what happened?
So today was my date. At like 10:20. I'm very like, I'm going to be the best, mitigation hearing person. I'm going to get an A in this class because that's my whole vibe. So I get on at 10:20, 10:25. There's a woman there who's like, okay, you're on the, we have you, like your technology is working. In a minute, you'll just see a button that says join, and you'll join. So then I did see the button that said join, click join, and now it's just me and the judge. And the judge is an older woman. She's like probably in her 60s maybe, with gray hair. She looks very judge-like. I will say that. I was like this.
Does she have a robe on?
I think she did, although I don't think it was like fully like closed up. I think she had it like over her regular street clothes.
Okay. Was it a bathrobe?
No, it was a judge's robe. She did not have a gavel that I saw, but I would have loved to have gotten gavelled. That would have been amazing. No, she did. Yes, and I'm as a very frequent and loyal watcher of Law and Order, I definitely think she was from Central Casting. Like, she could totally be a Law and Order judge. You would absolutely believe her as a Law and Order judge.
That's good, right? That means we feel like she's fair.
No, I don't think that's good at all.
Really?
You want like Otto from The Simpsons.
Well,
you want someone in the gig economy who this is.
It's funny that you chose a bus driver when the offense is against.
Oh,
bus
right. You know what? Good point. It's clear that I think of him as the most chill guy on earth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, she just said, "Okay, Ms. Haz, I see that you were that you have a ticket for driving in the bus lane on January 29th, and that you requested this hearing to explain what happened. Go ahead." And she's like, "Here, the floor is yours."
Oh. Was it almost too open?
Pressure.
Yeah, it wasn't like there was no sort of like Q&A, but I just said I started with my ultimate truth, which is that I very much respect the bus lane and I would not intentionally drive in it. And then I just told the story. I tried to be succinct. I didn't want to she's obviously she probably does 500 of these in a day. And I
would argue you had the best story of the day.
I agree.
I hope so.
You could have maybe just kind of let it stretch out a little bit. She was probably enjoying it more than most of the stories she hears.
Maybe she was very pleasant. She wasn't, she wasn't giving me any kind of like weird, trying to be extra stern. I just said, I really respect the bus lane. I was taking the bus home from work. I realized as soon as I got off the bus that I had left my phone on it, and my partner very generously hopped in the car with me, and we were chasing the bus through the city, and we saw the bus. We caught up with it just as it turned into the bus only lane. And we were so fixated on trying to get there before we lost it so I could pick up my phone that we turned after it without realizing that it was a bus lane. Mm-hmm. And I hopped out of the car and I I got on the bus, and the bus driver, and I really did try to talk up the bus driver. He was so nice, and he actually had my phone, and I retrieved it. And again, it was a sort of an exigent circumstance. And so I kept it pretty short. And she just said, okay, well, that makes sense. I'll reduce your ticket to $30. You'll get a letter.
From 75 to 30.
75 to 30.
All right. But I think
that's
also
a good outcome.
It's a good outcome, but it's also the same outcome that you would have gotten
if I'd written a letter.
Or if you just said, I was going to my job making balloon animals, and I'd left all of my balloon grease at home. Like, it almost didn't matter what
you didn't
the story
get the
was.
cool story discount.
I don't know. I actually got below half the ticket, which is really my goal was to cut it in half.
It's true.
So I feel like this is a win for me, and an absolutely great, I think a great use of my time to the tune of $45.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And great content for the show.
Absolutely. I was going to say, before we include the time you've spent telling the story on TBTL, which has got to be a net loss for you. Let's see here.
But hopefully a net gain for the Teds.
You made
absolutely.
You made $40 in about how much?
$45.
$45 in about 20 minutes worth of work.
15
max. Minutes. Well, what about writing back and requesting the
even that?
Okay.
I mean, I was on the Zoom call with her for 3 minutes.
Okay.
I was like,
that's $160
don't you
an
want
hour
to interrogate
that
me?
Yeah.
Like, where's the prosecutor?
Yeah.
Where's the jury?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go spend that.
I know.
I know what you mean, though, Vives. About
we're still
wanting
out
to be,
$30. We're still negative $30.
Yeah. Wanting to be like the model. I guess defendant or whatever. I got a speeding ticket in Idaho a couple of years ago, and I think it was during the pandemic. Maybe I was doing a TV shoot, but then I had to zoom in to court, and same thing. I think I had a suit.
Yeah,
I was wearing a suit. Like, I was just totally ridiculous. But I was literally like, Luke Burbank representing himself pro se. Sir, I mean, I was like, it was real inherit the wind territory.
Right.
I turned it into the Scopes monkey trial. But the crazy part was the judge actually threw it out. Like, it was a speeding ticket in a construction zone. I didn't even have an excuse. I just said I didn't notice it was a construction zone. But I think maybe the cop didn't show up or something in that case. So it was amazing. I got out of it, but like they fully expunged it or whatever. They fully threw it out. But yeah, it's kind of fun to get to play your own lawyer even for 5 minutes.
If I ever get the opportunity, I'm going to treat it like the scene from Nothing But Trouble, the court scene in Nothing But Trouble.
Is that the one with Chevy Chase and Demi Moore?
You mean the Reeve of the Shire? Dan Aykroyd as the weird,
like he's in like really old makeup.
Yes, and the Digital Underground comes in.
Digital Underground shows up
with Tupac.
Yes,
I
have not thought about that movie in forever.
It is peak weirdness.
It really is.
That really is. Now, I know you're not a big Halloween guy, Andrew, but if you would dress up like the Reeve of the Shire, and I believe he calls cigars dog rockets.
I don't remember that.
In that movie, I think he says like, "Do you want a dog rocket?" And I think he's referring to a cigar.
I think that is my hairline has been waiting for this moment its entire life.
Awesome. Well, Vives, thank you for the update and congratulations on saving money. You can put that towards Chew Toys.
Absolutely. We're really excited. And this is, I think, a good omen. And I only wish there had been more courtroom drama, but at least it went well.
Life is long. You have much more time for legal duress.
All right. Thanks for letting me wrap up the story.
Thanks, Vives.
That was great.
Another update I've got for you today, Andrew, is that I've heard from Coach Ben, of course, of the TBTL Junior Sluggers about the season. Their season kicks off tomorrow. Let's see. I could even tell. Let's see. Let me get to the
Schedule.
The schedule, which, I think it's okay if people want to go. We're talking about, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but maybe trying to put together a little TBTL day at the game, one of these games, because the season goes all the way through May 18th, so we've got some time. But tomorrow they're going to be at the, let's see, I don't actually know. It's Parkside Miners, which I think is us, is playing Ferrer. Oh, at Sacramento Elementary School. They're playing tomorrow.
Okay.
And the big announcement is that they have settled on a name for the team. What were they last year? Were they the Gators, I think, last year?
I apologize. I can't remember exactly.
I think they were the Gators, which I thought was a pretty good name, but they were also constantly playing like the Fire Dragons.
Yeah.
And the all, just names that were the Chicken Jockeys, names that were clearly chosen by young people of a certain age. But we have a new name for this season of the Parkside Little League Junior Sluggers. That is the Little League team that we sponsor, and they are, Andrew, the Parkside Jalapenos.
Jalapeno!
Love that. And tell the people, Luke, tell the people about the logo.
It is so great. I'm going to assume that Coach Ben designed this. Coach Ben contains multitudes. Baseball coach, father, Chamber of Commerce employee and supervisor, and graphic design genius. It's the Parkside Jalapenos. It's a adorable jalapeno wearing a little baseball cap, holding a TBTL pennant, and the catchphrase is "Keep it spicy."
I love it so much.
I mean, that is if that were a minor league team, Andrew, I'd go watch the jalapenos.
Yes, this is really, really good. Yeah.
It's right out.
Be careful, though. It's spicy.
The TBTL Jalapenos. What a name. I asked Coach Ben how the kids came up with that name, and he said, he goes, I vetoed the nukes and rabid squirrels. And that's how we landed on the jalapenos.
Nukes and the rabid
they wanted to be called the nukes or the rabid squirrels.
The rabid squirrels. I kind of like that we're just going for how about a diseased animal, an animal that's so diseased that it wants to rip your face off.
But he was able to get the team to agree to the jalapenos, and so that's who we're going to be rooting for this season is the Parkside Jalapenos.
And how could you not? That is who the world is rooting for this season.
Absolutely. I mean, again, I can't overstate. Can we make that the show pick today? Maybe the logo.
Oh, absolutely. Good call. Yes,
because that is that is a handsome logo. So nice job, Coach Ben. And
I'm
looking forward to many an update this season about how the jalapenos are doing.
Absolutely. I took some notes the last time we talked, Luke, about the Junior Sluggers, aka the jalapenos. And I have the list of players here in front of me, but I don't know the batting order. I was thinking that this might be the batting order of the team tomorrow, but I guess not. But we got a lot of folks out there who are going to be. How many challenges do you think the team gets? Is it the same as the Major League Baseball? You get 2.
It's unlimited. The games now take over 70 hours. Can you imagine giving an 11-year-old unlimited challenges?
The other day
on the ABS system,
you know how I was one of the people who complained about the rule change. I think 2 seasons ago that they were going to kind of put a pitch timer on the game to keep the game shorter. I didn't like it. And I was like, I like long games. I like baseball, make it long or whatever. And a lot of people who are have loved baseball much longer than I have were like, no, it's getting out of control. It's good to kind of keep it tight. And I got to say, the first season, I think I still resented it a little bit. And now I've just gotten used to it. And I guess I like it. I don't really know. I didn't really have much of an opinion on it. The other day, this is, I think, 2 days ago, I was at the gym. And I just want to get that in there. And that's the end of my story. No, the other day I was at the gym, and I remember I was actually finishing up my cardio part. But I was kind of bummed because there was I think it was a Royals Twins game that was starting, and it was going to start when I had 5 minutes left on the elliptical or something. I was like, oh man, because nothing gets me through the cardio better than having a baseball game that I'm even moderately interested in on the TV. And I have that MLB app now. So basically any game that's playing while I'm at the gym, I can just dial it up on my phone and set it in front of me. And it really does help make the minutes tick by and the miles or whatever. But I started this game, and so I know for a fact that it started our time at, I think, 4:40 p.m. And I started at the gym, and I finish up my cardio. I do a couple of other things, and then I'm like in the locker room, and I take showers in the locker room, but I kind of keep my headphones on for as long as possible. If you guys all want to picture that horrible scene, because I'm always like, I never want to be alone with my thoughts. So like my phone is still playing the game in the locker, but I got my headphones on while I get ready to shower. Then I shower, I come back out, I still catch the game. The point of this is, it was a bad weather game, and I don't think they ever took a delay during the game, but because the ground was so mushy and the mound was so mushy and just the field, the grounds crew kept coming up to maintain the field, that game ended up ending at like, I don't know how many beers later for me, but it ended up ending at like 8:30 or 8:20 or so. I think the game was like 3.5 hours long, which was not an exceptionally long game by the old standards.
Right.
But when that game was wrapping up at like 8:20 at night, and I had started it at 4:40 when I was in a completely different part of North Seattle, I was like, have I been watching this game my entire life? I don't remember who I was when this game started. It felt so incredibly long. And while I didn't hate it, although I don't think the players should have been playing in those conditions, especially considering that the score was 12-1 at one point. I was getting I was getting really nervous about injuries. That's something new for me. Like, I am now like a mother hen, constantly
Were you worried your boy, the
injuries.
Pasquatch, was going to get hurt?
Literally anybody. Like, listen, you know, there are players on some teams that I even that kind of quote unquote sports hate, but even them, I never want to see anybody go down because of an injury, but especially an injury when a game could have been called after like whatever the 5th inning and the score was up 12-1, and you just have this absolute downpour going on. Like, I was like, this is silly. There's a lot of players on both of those teams that I like, if any of, especially the pitchers, and then also it puts the managers in a position of like, well, I guess I don't want to put out my best closer, because the Twins ended up making that game way tighter than I ever thought it was going to be by the end.
That's why you play the game, Andrew.
That's why you play the game. But the thing is, like, you literally must have managers saying, well, who could I possibly injure? I mean, hopefully they don't think about it in those terms, but like pitching off a mound like that is really dangerous. And then you got to start thinking like, well, who's my least valuable ankle? Like, what a terrible way to, and nobody said that. That was my own internal monologue while I was watching this game. I was a little bit ticked that they kept the game going, but it did remind me of the old days. And I got to say, I think the new rule is right. I think keeping games around 2.5 hours is probably for the best.
Yeah. Yep. Like many things with baseball, they did this adjustment. I thought it was going to suck, and now I'm used to it, and I like it better.
Yeah, exactly. But I hope every now and then we do get the occasional 3.5-hour game.
This is my box. This is my box. I never travel without my box.
Oh, what's in the box?
In the first drawer, I keep my magic stones.
Oh, what's in the box?
Licorice, licorice, black sweet licorice, black sweet licorice. Have some.
Luke, will there be any black sweet licorice in the P.O. box today?
I mean, I'm on
tenterhooks. Nobody knows.
Yeah, what do you got? What's in the box?
I have been checking out the TBTL P.O. box lately. If you have anything that you must get to us, you can email us. Just email TBTL, P.O. Box 33687, Seattle, Washington 98133. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I want to give a shout out again to listener Maggie, who sent me that very nice stainless steel water bottle, which I've been using. Thank you. That's a very, very sweet gift you shouldn't have. Also, I got an email from listener David Zakaris of the Smittens. Exactly.
Okay.
By the way, I went around and around and around with him about the pronunciation of his name the other day, and then I'm just totally winging it there. I think I got that right. Zakaris, does that ring a bell to you, Luke?
We'll never know.
As you know, David is not just a wonderful musician in the Smittens, but also a visual artist. He made the illustration of you and I podcasting that you'll find at tbtl.net in our respective studios. Well, he sent us a couple of posters that he made based on some of his favorite movie scenes. I'm going to hold this one up to the camera for you, and I'm going to see if you can immediately identify the movie and the scene that this is from.
The remains of the day lunchbox from Waiting for Guffman.
That's right.
That's actually kind of in the credits.
Yes, it is. It's the extra. It's one of the extra scenes. Yeah.
It's basically like Corky has gotten to New York and he's finally opened his little store.
Yes.
And he's got, this is my remains of the day lunchbox. Let's see. Kids don't like eating at school, but if they have a remains of the day lunchbox, they're a lot happier. That's so great,
Great
David.
rendering of that. And that's
dude,
one of two. And here's the other one.
That's amazing. I'm jealous.
This is a Twin Peaks inspired one.
That's more your style.
A triple panel. And I don't know if you can read that.
Those
It'll be
are
hard for
good.
me. These are amazing, are they not? It's just about treating yourself once a day with something special, like a cup of hot,
which I do think
black
sounds vaguely
coffee.
sexual. I've told you this.
Yeah?
Off air and on air. There's something about that tape that it sounds
It's
like,
very breathy, I guess.
maybe it's just that it's breathy.
Yeah.
But I'll allow it because we love Kyle Chandler.
Anyway,
we stand Kyle Chandler.
I love those. I'm
not Kyle Chandler. What's his name?
Oh,
Kyle
McLaughlin? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I stand David's art. I really do. So thank
That's
you for
really
those.
good,
Those
both
are
of those things. Nice work,
incredible.
David.
And I could be wrong. I don't have it in front of me right now. There was no note, and I don't think David sent us that as a promotional opportunity for himself, but I do think that this is something that David was making from or for his merch store. I want to think. So my guess is if you type in the Smittens, you'll get enough information to sort of zigzag around and maybe find David's website if I'm right about that. Or if you're interested and that doesn't work for you, email me and I'll see if I can connect you with David and see if...
And I believe David and the Smittens, unlike us, would like to sell things in their merch store. That sets them apart from
exactly.
TBTL.
It's an interesting approach, I would say.
Yeah.
Like
it's unusual.
It's not something that I usually go in for. But anyway, yeah, those are really, really cool. And I had already opened that, so I knew what was in that box. But I got one more thing here. And this makes me nervous. I don't think I'm very good at like kind of opening things on the fly and explaining to you what they are. But I have this box here, and it says the return address is that this is from a listener, Catherine, in Elkins, Virginia, Luke.
Okay.
And now, listen, this is a box that is, I don't know, maybe a 5x4 box here. And this is what it sounds like. So I'm very curious as to what's in there.
Yeah.
It could be, I'm wondering if it was something that was in one piece at one point and now sounds like that because of the travels this box has taken.
I think I told you the story before, maybe when we were doing a What's in the Box, but when I was a kid, I really wanted a calculator watch.
Oh, yeah, I had one of those.
My Uncle Mike, who wasn't my uncle at the time, he had not yet married my Aunt Mary Lou, but he was just a single guy at our church, got me a calculator watch, which was so nice of him, but he put it in a box and then he wrote fragile on it and all this like do not shake, and then he put rocks in it, so if you shook it, it sounded just like it was broken glass. It was
That's
very
actually
funny.
really great.
Yeah, it was a pretty good spoof.
That's really great. Well, this box that we got from Catherine here is filled with, and it's not a calculator, Luke, but it's not that far away from a calculator. It's these handmade calendar, I want to say spheres, but they're not spheres.
No, they're like is that a dodecahedron?
Yes, I think it's that, because I don't trust myself.
Well, how many sides is 12, I guess?
Yeah, I guess it's a 12-sided
Is there something
object.
inside
Yes.
the calendar?
And inside them are like, it sounds like maybe some pebbles or something like that, or beads.
To give it a little ballast?
Yeah,
a little
so that
weight?
you can set it on your desk and set it to whatever the month is. And it looks like there's 5 of these in here. So I think it's probably for me, you, John, and maybe the other people in our
Bingo.
lives. Bingo gets one. By the way, I feel a little bit bad. I was teasing Bingo today. I was saying to Vives, I was like, I don't know, Genevieve, if we're bringing a new puppy in, do I have enough love in my heart? Do I have enough love in my heart? And then
keep them on their toes.
Exactly. And then I gotta be honest with you, I felt a little bad about it, and I apologized to him later.
Go watch a cat. Go watch a cat parenting video.
Yes, how to apologize to your cat. And we also in the box,
I promise you, that's a video that exists.
how to apologize to your cat. Got a nice long note here from Catherine. I'm not going to read it cold here, but it says for Luke, John, Genevieve, and Hannah. So I'll be distributing these things as appropriately. There's also, though, I love this, there is some crumpled up newspaper in here to keep these things safe in transit, but also just the rest of the newspaper was folded up and put in the bottom of the box, which I love. This is
is that a Virginia paper?
Yeah, the Intermountain. The Intermountain from Friday, January 9th, 2026. So I haven't held a real newspaper in my hands for way too long. So anyway, thank you very, very much, Catherine, David, Maggie, everybody. Really appreciate you thinking of us.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm also still working my way through all of the holiday cards that you gave me, Andrew, that were addressed to me. And so I've been opening those, and I just want to say, if you sent us a holiday card, if you sent me a holiday card, thank you so much. I'm seeing them, and it warms the cockles of my heart. So.
Yeah, I opened one yesterday too that really warmed my heart. I was telling you about it.
God, that was incredible.
I'll keep it anonymous, but I'll give a quick recap here, and then I know we got to get out of here and enjoy our weekends. But I found it incredibly moving. I'm down to just a few holiday cards that I open every now and then from the tens of listeners, and I've been opening them since the holidays. I just open one or two a night, and I read one last night from a listener, and I do remember this when this happened, but a listener reached out to us, I want to say maybe last year during one of the card exchanges, maybe the holiday card exchange, and they said, I want to participate, but it takes postage to do that, and I'm in a pretty tough place right now. So we reached out, and we had an anonymous donor, a friend, who helped that person. I think maybe send him some money, just enough to get some postage. And we got a follow-up from that person via a holiday card this year that said that was so inspiring. And even though they were, I think, homeless and jobless at the time that they reached out to us, they were so filled with the spirit of the person who kind of made that happen for them that they were encouraged by that and really just pushed through, and now have had several jobs, and now are working a really great job as a head chef at a restaurant where they live, and things are a lot more stable for them now. And they were just reflecting on TBTL and the community, and it just, I was just tears raining on my face, raining on my face. So I'm glad to hear that person's doing all right, and thanks for the follow-up.
Yeah, thanks to everybody who reaches out. We really do appreciate it. It's intense to hear those stories, and also to kind of just try to be present and appreciate all of the amazing people that listen to the show and that are part of this whole thing. It's kind of a bit of a miracle, and we're really grateful for it. So also grateful that it's a Friday, meaning we are at the end of our broadcast week, but Monday is a mere 48 hours away. So we'll be back then with more Imaginary Radio for all of you. So please do join us for that. In the meantime, everybody, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Happy Easters. And go Mariners. And please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Power out.